Es ist zu heiß für eine tolle Anmoderation, deswegen fangen wir jetzt einfach an. Wir sind hier mit Randy von Lamb of God. Hello, first of all.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm sweating. How are you?
Usually an interview starts with phrases like, tell us about your new book, tell us about your new movie, tell us about your new album. In your case, I can't decide.
Yes.
So, you get to choose.
Well, we've talked about the new record about every day for about 3 hours for about 5 weeks now. So I guess I'll talk about my book. There was a documentary called As the Palaces Burn. You know, it covered the whole thing with the court case and all that. Yeah. I wrote a book, though, called Dark Days, which tells the whole story from my perspective, and the great majority of it takes place in prison.
So was the whole writing process, was that a way of coping with all?
No, I'd already coped with it beforehand, you know. I think it's a processing, you know. It wasn't fun writing the book at all. I spent about a year writing about all the bad things that happened to me in my life. So it's stuff I'd already come to terms with. What happened, I'd already come to terms with. I did what I viewed as being the right thing. So I didn't really have to cope.
I know people always say that it's hard to find the first phrase when you start writing a book, but
mine was very easy.
Yeah.
In a way, writing my first book, because it is my first book, I'm going to write other ones. In a way, it was a lot easier than having to come up with an idea and write it out of the cold, because I already know what's going to happen in the book, right?
Of course, yes.
And from the beginning of a book, you want to grab people's attention. So for me, the first sentence of the book is about me, them putting handcuffs on me, because that's right where the book starts, you know? So it describes like the sound of handcuffs getting put on you. It's pretty easy to come up with.
You were talking about that documentary of yours, but there is another movie I heard about, an action comedy.
Oh,
that you are starring in.
My friends in this band Phonic, they're a Taiwanese band. They're really big in Taiwan, and they're pretty political. They're very pro-Taiwanese independence, because China still claims ownership of Taiwan, basically. And that goes all the way back to Chinese Civil War, when Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong, were fighting. My friends are very pro-Taiwanese independence. And I don't blame them. I think every country should have the ability to govern itself. The people who govern it should be the people who live there, right? That's what you think.
Seems legit, yeah.
Makes sense. Freddie, their singer, emailed me one day, and he was just like, "Hey man, we're making like an action movie. Do you want to be in it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I didn't ask him what it was about or anything. I'm just like, yeah, I do. I mean, obviously didn't do it for the money. I didn't make much money, but I did it because it's awesome to be in a kung fu movie, you know? It's got a lot of like action, kung fu fighting, comedy, and politics.
And what was your role? Did you get to do any fight scenes?
Yes, I was in a riot. I got beat up by the cops. I ran from the cops. And in the movie, I play a sort of an exaggerated, more rock star version of myself.
You have this alter ego thing.
Roger
going
Brilliant?
on, yeah. And I think 2 or 3 years ago, you forced my dear colleague, Markus Schleutermann,
yes,
to join you in a scene.
Yes.
So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Roger Brilliant is from England. He lives in Los Angeles now, because all British rock stars eventually move to Los Angeles, right? There's not a English rock star left in England. They're all in LA. But he was very huge in the 1980s. He had the Pet Shop Boys and Wham opening up for him, but he hasn't actually been seen on stage in, 20, 30 years or something. But he's going to come back soon.
Yeah? Is he going to release an album maybe?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
The bomb has been dropped.
Yes, yes, of course.
Sturm und Drang sowie weitere CDs, LPs, DVDs und Shirts von Lamb of God gibt es natürlich bei EMP. Klickt einfach auf den Link unten in der Beschreibung.